Nick, thank you very much, and the entire SMWW staff. And Daniel, appreciate you taking time on your busy schedule. We do these doc talks to introduce you to the world of working in sports. We're not interested in telling you how great we are. We've been in business 30 years. I've been in the college sports world for 55 years. You're supposed to say I don't look that old at 77. I'm proud of our company. We started with one student after the Jerry Maguire movie, and we now have 40 plus courses. We have over 30,000 students from 164 different countries. We're growing every day. All of our instructors are taught by experts in the field. And Daniel's such a great success story. We're proud of his career. We're also proud that we can help any of you that want to work in sports. So we'll need your questions as we give Daniel a chance to tell his story. And Daniel, good to see you. And I just want to start with my favorite question. Assuming you went to high school, tell us your story. Where did you go to high school, and kind of walk us through your path where you are today? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Lashbrook.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild to think that it's been about 10 years since I first took a course with SMWW. So, real full circle moment. I appreciate it, Nick. Nice finally to meet you. We just exchanged conversation via text, so but good to see your face. So where I went to high school, I grew up in California, originally born in the Bay Area near Oakland, but I grew up in
Yeah.
Riverside County and I attended Beaumont High School. A
Wow.
small place at the time where when I first grew up, now it's since doubled. Like a lot of people from LA are moving out there, so it's changed drastically. After high school, I went and completed my undergraduate degree at the University of Southern California. So 2 hours away from home, stayed in California. And then after graduating, I became a teacher. I was an eighth grade math teacher through Teach for America. Coached the middle school team there, volunteered at camps around, local universities. So ironically, even though I went to school at USC, I volunteered at UCLA. I was
Oh,
happy that
wow.
that they let me on campus over there to be a volunteer coach for their summer camps. And during that time, when I was teaching and coaching, I really wanted to see if I could make it a career. I just cold emailed a lot of coaches in the area. Randomly got to see a Cal State LA basketball practice. Andy Enfield at the time was the head coach at USC men's basketball. I had not done any basketball related stuff during undergrad because I was a
Yeah.
first generation college student, still trying to figure out my way. But I got, I was surprised by the amount of responses I got. I was expecting zero, but I got, some people even invited me to come watch. So for those of you on the other side of the screen right now, just stick with it, be patient, because I know at times it can feel like, overwhelming. But eventually you'll come across some people that are really looking to help you out. So keep with it. So after that, I decided to go to grad school. I attended Georgetown with their sports industry management degree. And the reason for going to grad school was to get a basketball related job or sports related job. I don't think anybody was going to hire me unless I was like an intern. And so I really needed to get the student status. And the only way to become a student was to go to grad school. So that was kind of the strategy behind that. And so I went to Georgetown. While I was at Georgetown was when I was first taking my SWW classes. So I took basically everything that was offered. And since then, you've added to the course load. So if I was still in the same position, I'd be taking those courses too. I'll tell you that. So I started off with the GM and scouting. I also did the digital video editing, and then basketball analytics. So
Yeah.
Mark Workentine, really good person. Obviously, he's passed away since, but
Yeah.
tremendous, tremendous person. And then Josh Earl at the time was
Yeah.
teaching the digital video editing course,
Yeah.
and Dean Oliver. And it's funny how
Yeah.
the sports world works. Dean was obviously one of the professors, and a couple years later, our paths would cross when I, started working with the Wizards. So really, really small world, the
Yeah.
sports businesses. Um, and then eventually uh, going to Georgetown, started applying for internships and started to put SMWW on my resume.
Yeah.
I wasn't as experienced as other candidates, so I didn't get that first basketball related job.
Yeah.
But my first internship was selling tickets for the Wizards. So I was in the building,
It's
which is great, which is, a lot further than where I was before.
yeah.
And any advice I give to somebody who's in your shoes right now is whatever job you get, focus on
Yeah.
that and fulfill it to the best of your abilities because those are going to be your references. And if you're not focused, then you won't have any good references. Fortunately for me, did my job when a basketball related internship came open with the Mystics for a video coordinator role. I was ready. Like I had done informational interviews with the staff. I had um, video editing on my resume. So the best prepared I could be for somebody who had zero experience coming out of college.
Yeah.
So I interviewed. Actually, the story is a story about being at the right place, right time with the right people. So I actually did not get the job for the video coordinator position, the internship, but because of having shown the initiative with like investing in myself and trying
Yeah.
to learn video on my own with SMWW because of my initiative outside of my academic pursuits and my current job. Like they saw something in me, and so the right people, right time, and they said they still wanted to keep me on. So I took that as an opportunity to have my foot in the door and made the most of it ever since. And then to try to close this thing up and make a long story short, since then I've worked. I went from Mystics video intern to Wizards basketball operations intern, back to the Mystics uh, as a consultant, and then bounced around two college stops: UCLA part-time video, back to the Mystics, then Florida State head video, back to the Mystics, and then Wizards, Mystics overlap. And then I was with the Wizards, eventually worked my way to the head video coordinator position there. And then recently became an assistant coach with the women's basketball team at the U.S. Naval Academy. And the reason for the change, I've always wanted to become a coach, and I love the environment coaching offers.
Yeah.
So if you remember, one of the very first jobs I had was becoming a teacher. And to me, this is my classroom, right? So
Yeah.
that's the way I view it. It didn't matter what level. I've had experience in the women's basketball game, men's basketball
Yeah.
game, collegiate, pros. But for me,
Yeah.
this opportunity is a unique balance of everything that I've learned, and
Yeah.
also my family's grown. I have a little boy; he's 10 months old, so 82 games was not in the cards for me personally. So I much rather like this schedule for me and my family,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Daniel, and we'll get ready for your questions here and let Nick
Sure.
know. Just post you have a question. But Daniel, you go back to Oakland or you grew up around there, and I grew up with the Kansas City A's and before the Royals. And I have a philosophy of our company: you have to have a ticket to the game to catch a
Mm.
foul ball. And I caught 13 foul balls, and I had a ticket in my pocket. And that really what you demonstrated. I want everybody to know we're proud of our company. This is not an upsell. This is how do we get adrenalize today and monetize. But I want everybody in here to be able to work in sports. Whether you ever take a course or come to a conference, I don't know. That's not my point here. I just want you to know, yes, there is a way. We have a Rolodex that's been around. Like I said, I've been in the business 55 years. I was assistant AD at Missouri back with Norm Stewart. In basketball, there really wasn't analytics yet. A digital video editing. We did film back then, but my point is that the world has changed. What I want to ask you specifically before we start taking questions, you're the college versus the pro. I see a lot of blending going on right now in the world of sports, and it's exciting globally too. But what's your comment about the college life versus the pro life?
Um, well, it's obviously the schedule is a little bit more
Yeah,
hectic at the professional level with more than double the games. So like
right.
right now, I made this comment the other day to the staff. We have more time to like focus on the loss that we just had versus in
Yeah,
the NBA, you got a game either
yeah,
the next day or in two
yeah,
days. The resources, at least going from NBA level resources to mid-major, would be a distinct difference. But in terms of like the basketball minds, like I've seen just as many bright minds at the collegiate level on both the men's and women's games as I've seen
right.
at the professional level. Sometimes it's just the fit, for me, it's
Yeah,
personally like it's a great fit for me. So, um, those are just some of the unique
yeah.
differences.
Let me ask you a question. There's, of course, scouting, getting the next great talent, whether it's recruiting or whether it's
Mhm.
drafting. Talk a little bit about how they use your services in talent discovery, and then we'll talk about strategies of the upcoming game.
Yeah. So, being an assistant coach at the collegiate level, I'm on the recruiting trail. And this is the first time I've been able to be on the recruiting trail, but it's still, to your point, Dr. Lashbrook, talent evaluation. And talent evaluation for me developed through the video room, like doing personnel scouts on all 29 other teams, being a part of the draft process for the Mystics when I was on that staff. So having seen a range of skill sets, a range of athletes, and really bringing that to this staff currently, and now trying to see the unique thing for me is being able to identify what is a mid-major, talent
Right.
level player versus like a power four, power five. So initially that was the struggle because like
Yeah.
you can easily identify who's the best player in the gym, but now it's like identifying uniquely who's somebody
Yeah.
that can be a high level in the mid-major game.
Right. It's interesting, being in college athletics for years, past president of the National Association of Academic Advisors, watching the transfer portal, watching the global recruiting now. I mean, I use Oregon State as an example. Last year, they had eight athletes from eight different countries, eight different languages on their basketball team. And NIL, you that follow it, but NIL is going to change to the international. My prediction, it'll happen. It's happening already. I always say the first NIL deal was when Wilt Chamberlain left Philadelphia High School to come to Kansas. That's just my wink wink of NIL. But it's a crazy time out there, and it's global. We say go global or go home. I'm fascinated with basketball, and backing up a little bit, I went to Springfield College, which is the birthplace of basketball. There's enough young people in here. I'll go ahead and tell the story. But I held the ladder for Naismith when he put up the peach basket. That's a lot of history there. We'll see where that goes. And Nick can laugh at me about that. I got a couple more questions, but I'd sure like you to raise your hand. Tell if you have a question, we'd like to come to you. This is about strategy and opportunity. Again, we've dedicated our company to have you work in sports just like Daniel. We don't have all the answers, but I will tell you our secret sauce is all our instructors are industry leaders. Whether it's the late Mark Workentine, or none of them had a doctorate in kinesiology, but me. And my point is that I'm proud of the fact that we have the practitioners that have been in the business, have been in the trenches, teaching you the product, if I may. And then also, I'm proud of you. When you were in college, you went across the street to UCLA and worked while you're in college, because I think the biggest frustration for me is sports management degrees without any practical experience really aren't the advantage that one might think they are. They spend a lot of money. We like to get you working as a freshman at UCLA or USC or wherever you go to school, working in that office, because that 4 years experience in the laboratory, there's no major that can meet that important part of it and everything like that. Let's go to Niall Thaxton with your introduction and question or comment. Niall, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no
Unmute. There you
problem.
go.
Thank you, Mr. Lashberg.
You bet.
Hey, Mr. Daniel. How are you? Hey, everyone. My name's Niall Thaxton. I'll wear my hat. I'm a senior sport management major. I attend a school in North Carolina called Winston-Salem State. I'm actually a
Yeah.
DC native. And yeah,
Yeah.
my question, for you, Mr. Daniel, I've kind of went through some experience from LinkedIn. And I see some commonalities because recently I interned with DC United this past
Good
summer
job.
in their sales
Yeah.
office, and I noticed for you, you mentioned now your start, especially getting into Washington's organization, was through sales. So my question was, I guess throughout that interview process, how did you I know how did you go about, obviously I know that long term you envision more so being into the basketball space, but throughout the interview process, how did you go about, not really, I guess, saying like, hey, I'm interested in sales, but you more
Yeah.
so saw it as your foot in the door? Because I've
Yeah.
gone through many interviews where, I've been told ideally it's best that I should kind of keep it in the box saying, hey, I'm interested in
Yeah.
sales or this. Whereas in reality, that I really want be more so on the basketball ops, basketball
Yeah.
analytics kind of side. So just asking for that kind of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question and it's a fine balancing act, right? I would say when you're in your role, maximize that role, but obviously like you want to develop skills towards what your real like dream job is. So I would challenge you that whatever free time you have, can you get experience in that, whether it's
Yeah.
volunteering, whether it's AAU, whether it's a volunteer at a junior college or
Yeah.
something. Um, so for me, when I first got the Wizards sales internship job, I had any clue that the Mystics video role was going to be opening up. I
Mhm.
just went about my day doing my job, learning the video stuff through SMWW. Building relationships, I will say, is critical in this business and maintaining. So it's
Yeah.
one to make an introduction, but then it's two to maintain the relationship. And for me, it's not necessarily like networking up because sometimes there's people around you, to your left and to your right that will become key people
Yeah.
in your career trajectory. For
Right.
me, it was somebody in human resources.
Yeah.
So I attended an intern orientation, and the human resource manager at the time, John Ferguson, said, if anybody wants to come in, look over their resume with me, happy to do so. So I took him up on that offer, and he's the one that guided me. He's like, you need to talk to Maria Giovanetti, the assistant
Yeah.
GM, just do an informational interview.
Yeah.
And I know that in a few months there will become an open internship position. So you're going to
Yeah.
set yourself up. You've got face-to-face contact, and then eventually you can apply,
Right.
and they'll
Right.
see your resume. So,
Right.
we all view as like when we go and build relationships and network, sometimes it's like I want to go talk to the scout. I want to go talk to the coach. I want to go talk to the general manager, which is great, but they meet so many people, right?
Yeah.
There's also people in these conferences that you will, if you attend, that will help you along your career.
Yeah.
I would say don't dismiss those opportunities.
Yeah. Daniel, let me compliment on that. And now I want to go back to you. Daniel's right. Our information interview is what I take a lot of pride in. And we came up with this 30 years ago. Anytime you have an interview after you've looked at LinkedIn, you just ask the person about the challenges today and where they're heading career wise. And then you ask, somebody else I should interview? You thank them. We send a Starbucks gift card and thank the person. They call us up and thank us for the Starbucks gift card, and then we invite them to speak at our conference. And we'll be down at the NBA Summer League. But we're all about networking continually, even after the course. I want to stay with Niall on this. Niall, what's your dream job
Yes,
in
sir.
sports?
I dream, well, I'll say entry level is to be a NBA data scientist, and then
Yeah.
long term get to that front office, that general manager level.
Yeah. Are you still in school at Winston-Salem?
Yeah, I'm graduating in May, but I'm currently applying to graduate programs. Georgetown,
Yeah.
GW, definitely schools on my radar,
So
actually.
make sure, and let me help you. I'm very connected. I was athletic director for 20 years, but make sure that you strategize and don't take a college without working in the basketball office. I'd even go to Fort Hays State and work in the basketball office versus go to Georgetown and not be able to work in the basketball office. I just feel strongly about that, and I'm not. I just want you to know that I so admire any of you in here that are coming into this not afraid to learn. You came to the right place. There's another word before I go back to Daniel with a question, and then we'll go to Eric. But there's another word I tell my students every day. It's called pivot. You come in, you want to be digital video editing, you want to do analytics, you want to be a coach. You don't know. You may end up being an agent. You may be an NIL agent. You may be a transfer portal agent. You may work in Europe. That pivoting is really important when you set your goals to work in sports, as Daniel's done. He's pivoted more than once, and we want you. We always say adrenalize today and monetize tomorrow. But I just admire all of you in here for that. Daniel, any follow up comment to that to Niall, and then we'll go to Eric.
Yeah, great. I love one that you're saying out loud what you want to do. I
Yeah,
remember entering Georgetown, the graduate school, and a lot of people wanted to do what I'm currently doing now. There's a level of persistence and perseverance that comes with it because there will be many times probably that you're going to feel defeated. And there's plenty, I'm sure the people that were in that same room as me saying they wanted to do the same thing felt defeated and they gave in to that. And not many of those people in that room are doing what I'm doing now. So this takes a level of commitment, a level of dedication, a level of perseverance, and
yeah,
willing to work through the failures. And to
yeah,
Dr. Lashbrook's point, don't dismiss like the opportunities that aren't as glamorous. I am
Yeah.
so thankful that my first opportunity came at the WNBA level instead of the NBA level because I built skills there that made me excel and look
Yeah.
better once I got to
Great
the NBA
stuff.
level.
Great stuff. Let's go to Eric with your introduction and questions or comments for Daniel. Eric, thanks for coming in, buddy. Unmute yourself, Eric. That's part of the digital video editing class. You unmute. There you go.
Oh yeah, I took it years ago. Sorry, Lynn. How you been, man? Hey, Daniel. Great. Thank you for coming on. I'm so excited to get this doc talk today. Let me see. I can't see your face. There we go. So I have a question about. So I
Daniel,
took.
Eric, introduce yourself. What do you do? Where you live, and all that.
I'm Eric Sobelman. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I currently work for the International Sports Academy, and also train players and do video and doing a lot of things to try to get involved. I want to
Good.
get involved with an NBA team, and
Yeah.
I'm working on making that happen right now. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the tools and the software. uh what are they using currently, because I did the digital video editing
Yeah,
course with
yeah,
Lillian a couple years ago. And I heard that they're using sports code, they're using this, using that. So like, what do I need to learn and make edits in before I start talking to somebody who can help, somebody who is in
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Really
my
good
first
question.
question. I have a second
Yeah.
one, but yeah.
Okay, let me so for the video stuff, you'd want to learn Huddle Sports Code.
Okay.
That's a really important skill set to have in the NBA video room in particular. Even the scouts will use sports code.
Mhm.
Um, and then on the NBA level, second spectrum are the tracking cameras. So the ones that will tell you like when you're doing like your own, you're going down the rabbit hole on NBA.com with like, touches per whatever, passes per whatever, all that stuff. That's second spectrum. They'll have kind of like a level of like synergy. So it'll look familiar whenever you get access to it, you'll be like, oh, this is like a synergy, but like on steroids. Um, and then I would say those probably be the top three, right? Synergy, Sports Code, Second Spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric,
Okay.
your follow up?
Yeah, if I follow up, yeah. Like it says on the page here, the email. I'm just looking at it. It says like how to build a demo reel, scouting reports, portfolio that gets interviews. Can you just like I kind of know what that means, but can you just speak to that? I thought maybe you could speak to that.
So do you currently have one? Do you
Currently have what?
currently have a portfolio or demo reel?
Yeah, I have synergy and I have scouting reports.
Okay.
I have video. I have yeah.
Gotcha. So
Um.
like for me, I'll talk from the hiring perspective.
Mhm,
When I was interviewing candidates for my assistant video coordinator,
mhm.
basically I wanted to know, can you live code? Can you live capture? So when a game's going on, can you have the game going on and can you label and tag and capture basically like what Synergy has, but in real time? So for me, that was an important skill set for an assistant video coordinator.
And how do I
Um,
show that?
that's
How do I
that's
show that?
hard to do in like a portfolio. So what I would say, if you're creating a portfolio, is to with video stuff, it should show like an extensive depth of like tracking and logging. And even though it's not in real time, you show your capabilities of being able to do so. And for me, I know as an experienced video coordinator
Mhm.
that the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and you'll be comfortable doing it in real time. So for me, like if you have like I charted within sports code like paint touches, ball reversals, whatever offensive rebounding, box score stuff, like that's fine. Like if
Mhm.
you can show me that you have something like that, then I'm like, okay, they know how to use
Yeah.
maximize that product.
Yeah. Thank
So
you, Eric. Thank you, Daniel. Let's go to Amari with your introduction and your question or comment for Daniel. Amari, thanks for coming in, Amari.
Absolutely. How you doing, Lynn? How you doing, Daniel?
I'm
My
good.
name is Amari Stewart. I am a junior business administration major with a concentration in marketing on the pre-law track
Where? Where?
Here at
Oh,
Morehouse College in
Morehouse. Good
Atlanta.
job. Love
Yes,
it.
sir. And so right now, I know Lynn kind of spoke on it earlier, but right now I'm a athletic communications assistant at Morehouse.
Good
And I
job.
also have a couple like unpaid internships I'm kind of working right now remotely. With these positions being very surface level and kind of introductory, how would you guys traverse or leverage these positions to kind of build my network and kind of take that into more so a major agency or working more professionally with a major
What's your
sports team?
dream job? I always ask the
Yeah.
one question, dream job, what is it?
Yeah. So immediately I want to be a women's basketball agent. Back in high school,
Okay.
I was very involved with our women's basketball team. And just naturally,
Yeah.
like coming from a single mother, like I
So,
have built really good connections
right.
with women. And that's just
Yeah.
a
So
really sport I really enjoy.
Mari, let me share something with you, and this isn't an upsell, but we started a company
Yeah.
with an agent course. It's our most popular course. I've
Yeah.
been an agent for 30 years, and you
Yes,
no
sir.
longer can be a successful agent without also knowing NIL
Yes,
and
sir.
helping a student, man or woman, pick a college. Every football player, for example, season's over. I'd say 75 to 80% of a roster are talking to their parents. Should I transfer? Should I stay? Not just about NIL, about opportunity, about career. It's the craziest, most exciting time ever to be an agent. And I'll tell you another rule. It's called the Ralph rule. If you get Ralph Dawkins out of Louisville, an undrafted free agent, you might get his younger brother Brian out of Clemson, an
Mhm.
NFL Hall of Famer. It's called the Ralph rule. I also use the example Uber. Uber drivers have a car. They fill out an app and they get approved and they go to the airport and they make money. And when I get off the plane, I go to the app and the closest one to the airport gets the business. And what you're talking about with your background, you could start tomorrow representing athletes. It's not rocket science. Now, you came into this basketball, and Daniel's got a career of his own, but there's so many opportunities. Back to my pivot world. And I'm excited you even took the time to come in today, but please take a hard look at our accelerator courses while you stay in school, while you get your degree, while you get your master. Let's represent some athletes to pay for that masters. And what you
Yeah.
have over everybody else in the world is your local, your location, and your story. And anybody in this room, back to pivot, could be an agent. We're not here to try to get everybody to be an agent. It's not for everybody. I don't think Daniel wants to be an agent. He's happy with what he's doing. But there's so many ways to break into the business, and it's very
Yeah.
exciting. Daniel, you want to add to that? I get a little fired up
Yeah,
about when
I love.
somebody wants to be an agent. I'm going, I'm screaming.
Yeah,
Wait, come on, let's go. Go ahead, Daniel.
I love the passion. So
Yeah,
one, you're like Dr. Lashbrook said, you're in a tremendous like area, right? Like
Yeah.
outside of Atlanta or in Atlanta. Um, the thing that I would add is you're a junior,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So you're a student. Like I would, if I could go and do undergrad over again as a student, I would email as many people as possible to talk to them because guess what? You're 2 years away from graduating. There's no like pressure for them. You're not coming at them for like a job right now. Like it's so
right.
much, I feel like it's so relaxed when a student approaches versus maybe if I
Yeah,
was, for me, initially, this is my personal experience when I was outside of college looking for a job sometimes and being on the business too sometimes there's some people that are insecure like you're
yeah,
really asking to talk to me because you might want my job someday but like as a student I know
yeah,
like hey
yeah,
you just want to learn you grow you got two
yeah,
more years like so I would challenge you like cold
yeah.
email as many people as possible and build your network.
And Amari, I
Absolutely.
want to tell you also, when a student's in our course, we have a lifetime membership. I do a Sunday chat. I've been doing it for 30 years. When I started, it was dial up Yahoo with one student and then two. I kid you not. And now we have no less than 30 all over the world. Some are football, some are soccer, some are, it makes no difference. Some are in analytics, some are in marketing. But you learn so much from your colleagues. You'll have a 30,000 Rolodex out there, actually 200,000 Rolodex, but it would be great to work. I just so admire you for coming in and asking the questions. You're way on your way. It's very exciting to
Absolutely.
watch you.
I
Let's
appreciate
go
you
to
so much.
Joe. Thank you. Joe DiNardo with your introduction and questions are coming. And Joe, thanks for coming in today.
Hey, Lynn. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Quick question. Well, I'm from Cleveland, a digital marketer, just basketball, sports head. Quick question. If like a person that's not in school currently or on track to get a degree, what would you guys advise that they do to get their foot in the door here?
Well, I'm going to answer first and let Daniel speak of it. And it sounds salesy, and I'm not salesy, but we have 70-year-olds and 17-year-olds, and you're never too late. In fact, I'm finding that some of the most quality students we get are people on their second career. And so nobody cares about your age. They care about your passion and they care about you bring something to the table. Just saying you love sports, you want to work in sports, that's about you. When you learn how to ask those informational interviews, you ask for what they're looking for, just like Daniel's telling you, and we'll teach you that what they're looking for in whatever trade you decide to go in. But again, you came to the right place with an opportunity. It's never too late to get in the ecosystem, and I'm proud of you for coming in here. Daniel, your comments to Joe, because I don't want to be the salesy guy here. I just want to be the enthusiast, okay?
Yeah, I would one like challenge you to really like look in your area, what's near you, because you probably have the unique situation of balancing your regular job while also trying to, build out this career that you want. Um, and in your position, I'd probably look for opportunities, whether it's volunteer, part-time, whatever, like hourly roles. I know some people, and again, my story is not going to be your story. No
Yeah.
story is the same. I know some people that did like the part-time team attendant stuff like in NBA arenas where they're like in the lounge catering to families and then eventually
Mhm.
they found something else. But in while they were there, they were one doing their job and then two, whenever they had conversations with somebody like and it was about basketball related, it was very natural, organic,
Yeah.
and they showed their level of knowledge and understanding. So first, I would say start like ground level where you're at, seek those opportunities and try to build while you're also maintaining your current
Right.
job.
Joe, you have a follow up before I ask a question to Daniel?
I think that's my only question. I appreciate it, Lynn.
So, Daniel, back to you. There's this thing called AI, and I'm not too old to understand it, and I'm fascinated by it. Surely, when I ask the question, you can give me a response how it affects your job today. And are you worried about being replaced?
I don't know if I'm worried about being replaced. I did see some robots trying to shoot basketballs, but I don't think that's gonna take away from what we currently have. But AI is starting to like make its way with the vendors and the technology piece. So like the scouting services, so like the platforms that like a Fast Model, Just Play, the ones
Okay.
where we type in our scouting reports and might get analytics from, those companies are integrating AI to make
Yeah.
that faster for coaches. So on the outside, like on the peripheries of the game itself, it's starting to make its way into, the technology piece.
Right. And I also got asked the question here with basketball and the international recruiting. Am I correct that I know the military is different because you need to be a U.S. citizen. I respect
Mhm.
that. But am I correct, colleagues in your industry, there's an international assessment out there of talent discovery?
Yeah, I mean, there's some teams that probably have as many international players as American, and you are
Yeah.
correct with service academies. But you could be, so we have somebody on our team that played for the Irish national team, dual citizen. Like
Wow.
her dad's from Ireland, but she was
Yeah.
born in the States. Her mom's from the States.
Yeah.
So that is an opportunity. But if you're an international student, you can't play.
Yeah, no, it's a
Um,
great
yeah.
story. Let's go to Eric with your introduction and question or comment for Daniel. Eric, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Lashbrook. Daniel, thanks a lot for coming on. I have a question for Daniel. So I'm working on my PhD, and my dissertation is a case study on name, image, and likeness. Um, I'm intrigued by NIL as it relates to recruitment as a recruitment tool. Do you find it, Daniel, with middies, um, maybe a little different than say if you
Yeah.
were in another mid major like Old Dominion, where I'm getting my PhD from?
You
Great
said, do
question.
I, can you finish that last part? Do I find it different? Can you just clarify?
Yeah, so we know NIL wasn't meant to be, or is supposed to be used for recruitment or inducement to stay or transfer. Uh, but we'll be kidding ourselves if we
Yeah.
if we think
Right.
if it's not. But
Yeah.
my question, as someone coaching in one of the service academies, my dad's
Yeah.
a graduate of
Yeah.
Naval Academy, and uh, and I'm wondering how your recruitment
Yeah.
is handled
Yeah.
when you don't necessarily have Neil as a tool that you would normally
But
have.
is there NIL
Yeah.
involved with the service academy?
So the answer is no, we don't
Yeah.
offer NIL.
Okay.
So it's a great question. So for us,
Yeah.
we got to uniquely position ourselves. So what's our
Yeah.
competitive advantage? Well, it's it's like I don't know, however many hundreds of $1,000s free education, but it's like a top tier level education. So we
Absolutely.
typically like recruit higher level academics and, mid-major talent. So really our competition doesn't become, the us versus mid-majors that have money. It becomes like really us versus like maybe Ivy League or somewhere around there, some student that's looking for high academics. And then we really, again, our head coach, give him a lot of credit. I'm only on my 5th month there, so I'm still learning a lot of the lay of the land. But in terms of what the academies offer is setting yourself up for success after college. So how many mid-major players are going to go
Mhm.
play pros?
Mhm.
Very few. And if they do and they go overseas, not going to make a lot of money. Like we have some people on our staff that went overseas and they made 20,000 in a season. So
Mhm.
really like our recruiting becomes like, well, you're going to get a tremendous education. You're going
Mhm.
to receive the benefits for your service. And then after, if you choose to stay or you choose to do the minimum required, like you will have so many opportunities post
Yeah.
college playing career. So it's a good
Yeah.
question. But I
Yeah.
think we have a unique like
Yeah.
player that we tend to
Yeah.
target.
Yeah. And Eric, I'm proud of you. I know you're in a program. I with Dr. Nick Nurse got his doctorate through our partnership with Concordia University, Chicago. But more importantly, any of you that want to pursue that master's or doctorate, you really are in a position to be a sports management professor or an athletic director someday. And back to Daniel in the military, I still think there's an advantage the military has with the culture. Very few transfers, if I may.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
commit and sometimes I think that culture of a 4 year commitment is more competitive with synergies in a team than maybe what's going on
Yeah.
right now. It's a crazy time out there. I've never seen anything like it, and it's exciting. I won't say it's not exciting, but with the upgrade of enlistments in our military and the changing world, I think it's really an exciting
Yeah.
time out there. Daniel, I'd like to go back to you, and then I'm going to pass the mic to Nick to kind of close out, answer any of your other questions. Raise your hand if you have a question. Give us what a day's like in your. You got a kid now, so after you change diapers, and tell us what your day's like. Just because I think everybody's curious about what it would be like working in your particular laboratory.
Yeah. So, I never leave when I want to because of the diapers I got to change, but I typically leave at like 7:30 to drop them off, and then I get to campus at around like 8:39. But I live closer to DC than I live to campus, which is in Annapolis, Maryland, because I chose not to move. So that's part of the reason why it takes so long,
Right.
which I'll offer up. That's always the best time for me to like make recruiting calls. So I'm trying to make the most of my time. So I'll
Yeah.
either make recruiting calls on my drive in or on my drive back from practice.
Yeah.
Get in, typically is check to see if, what the recruiting list is like, who we're going to reach out to, who we're going to contact, any new high school students that we've identified. At this point in the season, I'm watching film on opponents.
Yeah.
With my experience and my background, we've got coaches that are like at the academy, you're an assistant coach and you do strength. You're an assistant coach and you're the recruiting coordinator. You're assistant coach and
Yeah.
you're the director of operations. With me, and for me, they've allowed me to maximize my strength, which is the basketball background that I'm coming from with the NBA and the WNBA. So it's
Yeah.
really elevating the scouting, elevating the player development, elevating the video and the technology piece. So at this point in the season, I'm really focused on the scouting piece, and then practice design and practice improvements. And then
Yeah.
typically we'll have two meetings in the day. First one is around 11
Yeah.
o'clock, maybe 10:30. And that's either like recruiting or events for the week, anything like maybe we have
Yeah.
an unofficial visit. Then it's workouts after that,
Yeah.
individual player development. And then we come back for a 2 o'clock meeting. And that's
Yeah.
more practice, what we're going to do for practice. And then we have
Yeah.
practice every day between 4:30 and 7, just because
Yeah.
all the student schedules are the same. They go to class up until 3:30, and then we'll have practice every
Yeah.
day, 4:30 to 7,
Right.
unless we have a game.
Daniel, before I let you go and I'll bring Nick in, I just want to share with everybody. Grew up in Kansas City, Kansas. After those foul balls, smallest guy, largest high school. Broke my leg before the game my junior year. The coach asked me to be the manager my senior year. I turned him down. I walked on after high school to Fort Hays State. Got lucky with a fumble on the going down the punt. And the rest is history. I started. I got a scholarship, and I played 4 years. Back then I was passionate about working at my alma mater. And so I went to Springfield College and got the master's in a year. And then I knew if I got a doctorate, I might build a back door. So I got my doctorate in kinesiology while I subbed in Denver. And back then that was about 206 bones. Came back through Hayes and got hired teaching physiology, kinesiology, adaptive PE, elements of health, golf, which I never played, and track, which I never had run. But I did water the cinder track. I'm just sharing you something here. I was also digital video coordinator. I cleaned the heads on the video on the VCR, so that made me video coordinator back then, way ahead of it. And I analytics, of course, with my foul balls. I did analytics. I've done a lot, but I went to Missouri. I left tenure at 30 and went to the University of Missouri as assistant AD in charge of academics and compliance and did that 5 years. What an exciting time. And then I became an AD at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. And that's when the 3-point line came in. My former professor, Ed Stites, ramrodded the 3-point line for the NCAA rule. It changed the game of basketball, college basketball forever. And after 3 years there, I had a chance to go to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And the reason I bring this up, hockey was a big deal up there. You talk about pivoting, no football, but also the wall went down Germany. We started an exchange in Russia, brought over the top volleyball player and the hockey player, and we won championships, and it's pretty exciting. And I wanted to watch my son play high school ball, and I went to Jim Steiner, Jerry Rice's agent. I met at Missouri, and I became a sports agent. And 3 years in, I had 20 players in the NFL from first round to free agent. I lost Ryan Leaf to Lee Steinberg. The internet started up. The Jerry Maguire movie came out, and I started a company, Sports Management Worldwide. What I'm saying to all of you, dream, work in sports, get paid for your passion. Don't accept the excuse you can't work in sports. There's thousands of jobs out there. Some of them are not listed. But don't be afraid. What you did today is demonstrate your passion for sports. Go away with a strategy. It doesn't have to be us, but don't give up on your dream. Now let's go to Michael Addison, CHA, for his last question, and then I'll pass the mic to Nick. And you guys are fun to be with. And if you come into my classes, you get me forever. And I'm going to live a long time. And like a glass of wine or like a bottle of wine, that we get better and we're more valuable. Let's go to Michael. Even though you can't turn on your picture, I worry about that if you want to get digital video editing. Go ahead, Michael.
Sorry, can you both hear me? My
Yeah, but
Yes.
are you having a bad hair day?
Well, no, that's not quite what it is. I can't seem to get any less in my room working at the moment.
I love it. No, we're giving you a hard time. This
Right,
happens all the time, and we just want your voice and your pulse. So we got that. Go ahead and introduce yourself and go with your question to Daniel. And thanks for coming in, Michael.
right. Well, wow. I feel like it's going to be tough to follow up all of that, Mr. Limb. I appreciate that. But I first of all, I appreciate both you and Mr. Daniel for making this possible today. As you can see, my name is Michael Addison. I am based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and for me, my goal is to kind of do the front office thing that's been
What do you
talked
do
about
for a living,
already.
Michael? What do you do for a living?
Well, right now I'm a community college student up in Charlotte for Central Piedmont Community
Love it.
College.
Love it. Congratulations. Go ahead with your question for Daniel. Good to have you in, my friend.
Right. Thank you very much. And so my question for Daniel is I'm about to go into a program in this upcoming March called Europe, and in that course you can do many different things, but one of the things you could do is software development as a pathway, and in that software development pathway is a track for data analytics. Now I came in late. I came in like 10 15 minutes late, so I didn't get to catch everything that you said beforehand. But my question to you is like what's the best way that you can take the software development pathway and kind of channel it into whatever when it comes to sports, when it comes to video,
Yeah.
when it
Yeah,
comes to
Michael, I
data
appreciate
analytics.
the question, and Daniel will give
Yeah.
you a
Right.
positive response, and that's what
Yeah.
we do for a living. And I'm proud of you for coming in today because I want you also to get paid for your passion. But Daniel, give some encouragement how we can
Yeah.
help people get in the ecosystem with confidence.
Yeah, so you mentioned you wanted to be in the front office, and you mentioned this program that is geared towards like software engineering development. Well, first I
Right.
would say you should be passionate about that, the software engineering piece. Don't just do it as a means to get into whatever position, because I started off as a computer science major thinking it was going to get me into something else, and I did not like it, and I changed my major. So first, explore what that answer is for you. Are you going to be passionate about the software engineering piece? Because yes, there are opportunities in front offices with like data mining, whatever term, data scientists, and having worked in an NBA team, I know the people that are in those rooms and they have backgrounds with engineering backgrounds. So, is it a means towards potentially getting a job in the front office? Yes, potentially, but you should also be passionate about that because that's quite the investment if you're not. It's so that would be what I offer up to you.
Yeah. And Michael, we'd love to chat with you. And the application's free of charge on any of our courses. We're not a hard sell program. We're here as a friend, and we'll help any of you any way we can. We'll give you free advice, and it's exciting to have you. Nick, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Like Daniel, I don't have to change diapers, but I do have a grandkid. Not that I shouldn't change the diapers, but I'm going to go meet up with my grandkids. And I want everybody to know this because the world is changing. My son and daughter-in-law have two kids. I have two grandkids, 4 and 3. They lived in Vegas. She happens to be from Russia, so she's bilingual. But I'm sharing this with you today as they're visiting her parents in Panama. They go from there to Abu Dhabi. Now, Abu Dhabi is over by Saudi Arabia, UAE. That's the world. There's a lot of investment in sports going over there, Daniel, and the NBA played over there this year at Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
So the world is changing, and we say go global or go home. And we meet it. Many of you are going to be working somewhere in the world. There's so much exciting going on with the NBA, Europe, etc. It's just an exciting time to be in sports. Nick's been with us, and he handles me, keeps me straight, makes the Zoom work. I'm not capable of doing that. Nick, I'm gonna pass the mic to you, and I'm gonna go see my grandkids. And Daniel, thanks for your busy day, and good luck to your season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you, Dr. Lashberg. Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for coming. I know your schedule's pretty busy, but thank you again for taking that, little time to speak with some of the people who are wondering how to break into an industry like yourself. And you gave some really good insights about, how you can do. It's not going to be necessarily the path that you wanted for yourself, but it's going to be the outcome that it's going to be best beneficial for both you today and in your future as well. So, you're free to go, Daniel, as I kind of help close things out if you would like, or you can stay on. It's kind of up to you. But so basically, as someone who works for SMWW, wanted to inform you guys about some of the resources that you guys can have access in order to help you break into industry as well. Daniel obviously is an alum of ourselves, and you can kind of see what some of the pathways he has gone as well. We have over 30,000 alumni in 36 52 countries. We kind of go through about the globalization, the LinkedIn Alumni Network. We can be able to network with people across the globe. And in the game of basketball, it's not just in the US, it's globally as well. I know there's a ton of positions coming over, even you playing in the Canadian leagues, the Mexican leagues, or over in the Europe as well, including Asia. So there's just more than one opportunity you think of. And Daniel works for a university as well. There's a ton more universities than there are NBA teams as well. So trying to think about that when you guys are looking out for your first type of jobs. Yeah, well, I go to this school, maybe I could be a volunteer assistant for the basketball team. Perfect. Now that's an experience that not many people have. So you got to find, even with the jobs that you have that aren't related to sports, trying to think about how you can frame it in a way that the skills that you're learning in those jobs are applicable. those soft skills that you learn, the relationship building. I mean, there's a ton of people who can be able to do certain jobs, but it's not a ton of people who can be able to talk with people and be able to be relatable. You might be a data analytics guy and you might have all the numbers in the world to support your backing. But if you can't communicate that to anybody, then at the end of the day, it's just data that's on a piece of paper or on a computer screen. Being able to share the story, be able to articulate, relate to people as well. So that's some of the things we do with our courses. If you're interested in like the front office, we got a basketball GM and scouting course taught by Rick Sun, who's a MLB executive for many decades for the Hawks, the Mavericks, the Sonics at the time. And Carl Berman, who's now kind of runs the managing partner for the world's largest, scouting company, Net Scouts as well. If you're more into like, player development, the coaching side of things, a basketball player development course includes Larry Riley, who was the GM of the Warriors and drafted Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and then Irv Roland, who's a personal trainer and former assistant coach for multiple teams in the league, and he trains people like Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Haley Van Leaf, and the list goes on and on. So those are the type of people that you get in those certain courses. And obviously you heard about Dean Oliver a little bit, former kind of assistant coach for the Wizards and worked closely with Daniel when he was there as well. But it's not just people with fancy degrees. I know that's always a big thing, but it's people who actually really know the industry, lives and breathes it, and wants to spend time with you doing our 8-week course online where you can be able to ask any questions you want, just like you did today with Daniel. Now you get to be able to do that as well with these people and be able to, put them on your resume and say, hey, I got mentored by someone, of this caliber, and that sort of thing kind of helps you get into initial conversations because it can be hard to have informational interviews. It's like go and reach out to people, but oh, I'm busy. I got this. Oh, I have like 5 deadlines I need to get to. I can't be able to do it. But having that SMWW's reputation and let's say Larry Riley's reputation, let's say Rick Sun's reputation, people have this kind of understanding of who those people are and be able to take 10 minutes, you'll tend to get 40 minutes. I mean, I'm a component of someone who took the baseball analytics course before I started working here, and I asked someone from the Seattle Seahawks, completely different sport from the sport that I was taking it from. But I was able to get a good kind of understanding of how he got to the place it was. I asked for 10 minutes, I got an hour. So just again, being personable, doing your research on these people and be able to come in with good or educated, articulate questions goes a long way as well. I know as we talked about degree programs, everybody's, sometimes for some applicable jobs, you do need a certain, degree level, regardless of sports, whether if it's a professional team or a collegiate team as well. We do offer a master's in sports leadership through Concordia University, Chicago. It's at less than $15,000. The application is free, and we make sure we streamline the process for you so that you have no kinks as you go on through the way through the process as well. We also offer an MBA in sports management degree program if you're looking more on the business and administrative sort of things, and then also a PhD in sports leadership and an EDD in sports leadership. Same program that MBA coaches Nick Nurse and Adrian Griffin took as well through our program as well. So those are the kind of the type of people that go through, and also Dee Lynham, who is a veteran sports reporter, and Mark Quarantine as well. So it's just kind of different options. Basically, what we're trying to say is we have a Rolodex. We have people who know what it takes to work in sports. Just got to be able to take that leap of faith, whether it is. And, you can call the office at any time. We have career advisors that are there to give advice for you. Hey, what kind of jobs have you seen? Or, I got this, and this. What do you think is the best path? This is why we're here, and this is why we've been around. We go to the NBA Summer League each year where we have a conference with speakers that are there just so you can be able to meet individuals who are actively in the game, actively being able to see them face to face, and then go and be able to network as well. Because if you learn anything about today, is that you need to network. Because the bigger your network is, the better opportunities you may be able to present yourself or be able to discover where exactly you fit in. Because that's just as important. If you're looking in the wrong area, it's going to be really hard to find. So do you guys have any questions in terms of, what SMWW services or just kind of about overall? Carl, get you on here.
Yeah, Daniel, I had one more question for you if you have time. If not, that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first, thank you for coming. My name is Carl Molinaro. I'm a volunteer basketball assistant coach right now, but I'm thinking about going into my master's in some kind of maybe data analytics, just like you said, to get that student status again. And a goal of mine is to do a graduate assistant program. So my question to you, being someone that's in it right now, is what would be your approach to like when I'm looking through schools and looking for the best fit, um, reaching out to coaches and while I'm applying to schools, like what's your approach to which one you
Yeah.
do first, like picking the right place while also trying to get in contact with the coaches?
So when I applied to Georgetown, I wish I would have done it differently. Because I also like wanted to be a GA, but I think I started asking too late. So the earlier that you could start asking would be great. Obviously, I wouldn't email the head coach. I'd probably reach out to the the DOBO, director of operations, just and they allow them to elevate or escalate your email if they don't have the answer. So that would be my approach is like as soon as you know, like or identified which schools you have the program that you want to go to, probably reach out and just inquire like, hey, I plan on being, or I expect to be a student during this year. Do you anticipate needing or having a GA position open? And that might help you in your decision-making process. If they don't, they just might not.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carl, for your question. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if there's any more questions, feel free. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up here pretty soon. But, just go all out. Like, take a leap of faith in whatever you do, whether it's like starting your own project. If you're a big guy on analytics, maybe create an app where, it's user friendly to be able to digest what you're seeing on the TV screen or be able to have some sort of, like basketball Twitter sort of thing where you can be able to join a discussion and be able to create a platform where people can eliminate all the noise on the outside that you see on X and be able just to focus on the passion of basketball. Being able to, if you're someone who's looking to get in space, post your free scouting reports as well. Being able to show people that you have the expertise and experience it is. And all SMWW does is to be able to exemplify and raise your floor and what you're able to do based on the resources and the information we have. Niall, we'll go to you next.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
We
just
can
a
hear
quick
you.
question. Yeah. I believe I just sent the email as well. I was just wondering if I don't know if there's any accessible like email or whether I don't know even a phone number of Dr. is it Lushbrook, right?
Yeah, Dr. Lashberg. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in the chat for everyone. If you want to send an kind of an inquiry about, say that you're from the Doc Talk today and you had some additional questions, you can email info@smww.com. I just put it in the chat for you guys. And if you want to call the office, I know Lashberg is in the office, so you can be able to call this here. And if you might get myself, you might get one of our career advisors or you might actually get Dr. Lashbrook himself, and we'll be able to transfer you. He loves to talk to people and kind of get your kind of, your path, and you can see how he's doing it even at where he is today. I mean, he could be retired and living in a beach in Cabo, wherever he finds good use. But he's here trying to help individuals, get their job in sports, and we have people who do work in the industry as well, including Daniel, which has an impressive resume and shows that diligence, hard work, commitment, and self-confidence can really go a long way. So, but thank you. Now, do you have any other questions? Awesome. Thank you. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any additional questions, please shoot an email at info@smww.com. I'll call the office line there. A recording will be sent out. Just going to take a day or two for the video to render and get it all situated for that. So be on the lookout for that by the end of the week. And if anything else, thank you again, Daniel, and wish you the best of luck. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Daniel.